What if by taking creatine daily for 1 week, you can increase your DHT levels by 56%? And for those of you who are not aware, DHT is basically the stronger cousin of testosterone. It's about 5 times more androgenic than testosterone. Now, what does it mean to be more androgenic? It basically means that it's gonna give you more masculine gene expression, such as more muscle growth, higher libido, and all the mental benefits of high testosterone, but just 5 times as strong. This is because DHT has a much more powerful affinity with the androgen receptors. Basically, DHT binds easier with the androgen receptors called AR, and it stays locked in. That said, there are negative side effects of DHT, which I will discuss later in this video. But first, let's go over the study I'm talking about. The title is 3 weeks of creatine monohydrate supplementation affects dihydrotestosterone to testosterone ratio in college-age rugby players. As the title says, this study was made on rugby players. It was a double-blind placebo-controlled study, which means there was a group with the creatine and a group without the creatine. For the first week, they did a loading phase. One of the group were on 25 grams of creatine and 25 grams of glucose, while the placebo group were on 50 grams of glucose. And after only 1 week on the loading phase, there was a 56% increase in DHT levels by intaking creatine. But what about the maintenance phase? Because you can't keep on taking creatine at 25 grams every single day. Usually you lower the dose to 5 grams a day, and that's exactly what they did. They had the group taking 5 grams of creatine plus 25 grams of glucose, whilst the placebo group were on 30 grams of glucose. And even after reducing it to 5 grams a day, they showed that after weeks, their DHT levels were still 40% above baseline. Personally, I've been supplementing with creatine for a while now, about 3 years almost. I thought the muscle growth effects were enough for me to keep buying it again and again, and it was. But now that I'm learning about all the implication of creatine, whether that's on DHT or even on cognition, I think this supplement is like the best, or at least one of the best, with boron and vitamin D. But that said, it's not everyone that has a great relationship with DHT because they want to avoid male pattern baldness. And I get it, like there's such a look maxing trend at the moment where people are trying a bunch of different supplements or skincare routine in an attempt of looking better to attract girls. I honestly believe that DHT has an unfair rep. Yes, it will increase the speed at which you become bald, but that is only if you were meant to become bald. And on top of that, there's so much that we don't know that it's unfair to say that DHT is the root cause of it. But on another note, DHT has also been shown to increase prostate. Now, a big prostate is not that bad of a thing, but it can cause issues such as urination problems. And honestly, you don't want those. But the major and worst side effects that high DHT levels could potentially do for you is increasing prostate cancer. I looked into it, I did a bunch of research, and apparently high DHT levels does not make it more likely for you to get prostate cancer. But if you already have prostate cancer and you increase DHT levels, you will fasten the rate of the prostate cancer. So make sure you don't have prostate cancer, but if you're a young guy, there's basically no way you have prostate cancer right now. So now you know the positive effects, now you know the negative effects. But what should be the protocol? Should you take 25 grams of creatine a day? Personally, I think that might not be the way to go about it. Now, a loading phase is something you would only do if you wanted to see quick progress, because it's basically just a waste of creatine. If you take it 5 grams a day for a month, yes, you will reach the same level as if you did a loading phase for 1 week with 25 grams of creatine per day. So I don't recommend doing a loading phase, but what I do recommend is maybe increasing the dose of creatine on your maintenance gain. So let's say you're taking 3 grams or 5 grams, because it says 5 grams on the thing. Well, if you're a heavier guy, like nearing the 200 pounds, maybe you could try to double the dose, go to 10 grams of creatine per day. That's personally what I did, and I found that I experienced basically 0 side effects, 0 negative side effects. but on the same note, I don't think I experienced any positive effects. So take that as you may, but creatine, with all the research that's behind it, is most likely the most powerful supplement for muscle growth and masculine gene expression, at least in the natural supplement range. And if you try to go beyond and go to 20 grams of creatine per day or even more, you might start experiencing gut issues, so be careful of those. Now, I just recently made a video on testosterone, so if you'd be interested, click on that one right there. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one.